All right, viewers. So here we go again. Another season, another IPL season, another episode of the never-ending Dhoni debate. But this time, it's different. This time, it's not just the fans questioning, it's not just the critics dissecting, it's Chennai Super Kings' own coach Stephen Fleming putting it out in the open that Dhoni cannot even bat 10 overs running full stick. The man who built his legacy finishing games now is reduced to a cameo role, sent in at number 9 after Ashwin in a crunch game against RCB. A legend of the sport, a generational leader, now is a spectator in his own team. And why? Because Stephen Fleming says that Dhoni's knees aren't what they used to be. Dhoni manages his own workload because Dhoni judges his own game time. It's a team game, viewers, but Dhoni has been given the luxury of deciding whether he wants to come out and play, when he wants to come out and play, regardless of whether the team needs him or not. The question is, would a 28-year-old captain Dhoni ever tolerate this mediocrity? The same Dhoni who rotated Sachin, Sehwag and Gambhir because he could only afford two bat fielders in Australia, would that captain ever pick his own unfit self today? Yet, here we are watching CSK held back by nostalgia and commercial interest. The same franchise that once thrived on ruthlessness, won 5 trophies, now seems to be a prisoner of its own history. So let's ask the big questions on the broadcast. Can legacy and commercial interests ever justify selection? Would Dhoni ever pick himself in this position if he was the younger captain that he was? If Dhoni isn't fully fit, what's the compulsion for CSK to play him? And how long will CSK continue to milk the past, talk about trophies instead of planning for the future? And when will the fans, the Chennai Super King fans, start demanding accountability? Lots of questions on the broadcast. Joining us right now, Ranjit Bajaj, founder director of Minerva Cricket Academy, Chandrasekhar Luthra, senior sports journalist. Ranjit and Chandrasekhar Luthra, appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. Ranjit, starting with you now. There's a saying, you either die a hero or you see yourself becoming a villain. And I don't think there's anything better that we can say looking at the circumstances.
I would say, thank you for so much for having me. I would say that there must be something else going on behind the scenes that we don't know about because there is no logical explanation. Um, when you have somebody like the great legend of the game, Dhoni, and the great Thala, as they call him, I've never seen in any team sports that when your own team batsman gets out, your own team supporters are celebrating that batsman's getting out. Why? Because the next batsman is going to be Dhoni. And 70 to 80% of the crowd there are wearing his shirts and they're after him. And looking at that as well, he doesn't have long to go. I mean, I really hope he does, but another couple of years. And I, anyone, are you playing him as a wicketkeeper or are you playing him as a batsman? Is he making his place in the team as a batsman? Because if somebody is coming 9 down, then either he better be a bowler or an all-rounder and a part pit batsman. But somebody coming 9 down means he's nothing else but a wicketkeeper for the team. Because yes, he's a great wicketkeeper, but that means otherwise you wouldn't have selected him. Now, if you were saying that you might be wanting to check other batsmen out, when the big matches come, the crunch matches come, don't you think you should have been already under pressure and playing out those kind of matches beforehand so he gets used to that crunch situation when it comes? Because now when he, suppose in the next match, you actually require 30 of the last over and not 4 of 9 balls, then we want the whole Dhoni. But if he is not, the chances of him doing that is if he's been in the middle and under that pressure, just, I
No,
mean,
but
he's been
Stephen
a legend
Fleming,
and he
the
can do it.
CSK coach, already
Obviously, it
says that
increases
it's not the
chances.
same Dhoni. So I think it would be foolish on the fans' part or anyone's part to actually assume that the old Dhoni is going to return. Chandrasekhar Luthra, at what point do we say that this is now getting a little too much now? It's getting ridiculous because now Stephen Fleming comes out and says multiple things, and I find a lot of them disturbing. He says Dhoni decides whether he wants to go in or not, regardless of what situation the team is in. When was the last time you saw this happening? The last I remember, the cricket is a team game. If you're good enough for the team, you are in the side. You're supposed to perform when you need it, regardless of who you are. Sachin did it till his last match. At what point did we start becoming so cult obsessed that a person is in the team and he gets to decide whether he wants to come in or not, regardless of whether the team needs him at that point?
Know what professionalism is all about, but let me tell you, Dhoni is above everything in CSK. Because I remember when team was banned, his name cropped up as one of the spot. I mean, he was there with Guru Mehtan discussing about so many things, and Justice Lodha and other investigator, Mr. Mishra, IPS officer. They caught them. They interrogated them. There was a 13-member list in the Supreme Court, which was obviously being put in inside that locker. I remember covering all that and then thinking that he could be, punished or something, but nothing happened. Dhoni joined another team, Pune. I asked that owner, Mr. Goenka, that time in one of the press conferences that, are you not bothered about your image or brand image? He gave me some goalmole kind of answer, which we all know, that how they are trying to hide everything behind a curtain. So that's one thing. And then we also understand that Dhoni means CSK for the simple reason. If we know because I don't want to explain, then we don't have that much of time also in the program. But Mr. N. Srinivasan, he's kind of adopted son to Mr. N. Srinivasan, who was the owner. Now, team is one thing, entity, and the company which has been sold to some other thing. So, as an adopted kind of son, as somebody who is controlling everything, I think they are taking complete maje cricket from the cricket fans, whether Dhoni is fit or not, whether Dhoni in last year, if you remember, he had hamstring issues. He was running obviously slow. He was fighting, but obviously through his entire experience, and he was a big player. We all understand, and great match fixer. That tag is again they are trying to cash in. Whether or not it's happening or not is something else, but at the expense of team, they are playing with the sentiments of the cricket fans who are trying to watch cricket or who are more interested in watching cricket. Those who want to only see
Absolutely.
whatever names you can give to Dhoni, then obviously for them he's like a demigod. So man, there are two ways of looking at it. I'm not a
Absolutely.
great fan of Dhoni. I've done a lot of stories. I understand how he was saved or how this and spot fixing saga was, dealt with in Supreme Court and others. But that's the way it is. I'm
Absolutely.
sorry
Mr.
that
Mr.
people
Luthra, I
have
think
to
that is
watch.
one thing that we all agree with here, regardless of whether we are fans of MS Dhoni or not. There is a certain amount of respect, and I'm sure Bimal Soni, former manager of the Indian cricket team, also agrees. Mr. Bimal Soni, there is a certain amount of respect that Dhoni's name carries, and we all agree with that. We also agree that IPL is mainly, focused around entertainment. But again, at the end of the day, it is cricket. It's a sport we all respect. Do you think that this is now getting a bit out of hand, given that MS Dhoni clearly is not fit? The coach himself is saying that. Yet, why do you continue to pick a player who you cannot even guarantee will come out to bat even in crunch situations? He's batting at number 9, Mr. Bimal Soni. Do you think there has to be some sort of a limit put to that?
No, I think this is an internal decision of the team, first. Secondly, Dhoni has proved himself time and again. He doesn't have to prove whether he has to go at 7 or 9. But what decision was taken was a team management decision. I don't think so. Dhoni may be unfit, but you saw what stumpings he did and how well wicket keeping he kept. So I don't think so he was that unfit also. But it could be a team decision. It could be inside that the manager or the coach had other ideas about what to do and what not to. But I think that sending Dhoni at 9 was wrong. But at the same time, if it's a team and manager's decision, we can't help it. But I am very sure that Dhoni, if he's unfit or if he's not fit enough to play, will not come out in open and play for the team. He definitely will sit out. So Dhoni is a cricketer who knows
No,
how
but Mr.
fit or
Soni,
unfit he is,
it's
whether he should
Stephen
play or
Fleming
not.
himself who's now come out and said that Dhoni cannot give us 10 overs full stick. He struggles. He's not the same Dhoni anymore. And he decides on that day how much he can give to the team.
Well, there could be a difference of opinion in the team also. Stephen Fleming can think in different way. Dhoni can think in different way. But I am sure that Dhoni at this stage of his career will take his own decision. He is capable of deciding whether he has to play or not, and if he is playing, what number he has to go, and what the team needs at that time. So our discussion is 100% right if there is a difference of opinion in the team management. But otherwise, Dhoni coming at what number is his own choice. He can talk to the captain and the manager and decide. And I know he's capable of taking good, straight, honest decisions about himself.
Mr. Bajaj, do you agree with what Bimal Soni is saying? Do you agree that MS Dhoni still merits a spot in the team, regardless of whether he's fit or not?
Looking at his stumpings, which are kind of unbelievable because the reaction time of 0.12 seconds is not a reaction time. He is the antithesis of all keepers. What we teach keepers that you need to have soft hands when you need to receive the ball, whereas he's the one who's taking his hands forward because he wants to be actually receiving it and already stumping it. So
No,
only
but
great
Ranji,
people
the
who've
problem
got
is
that muscle
he's
memory
not
can
just a
do
wicket
it.
keeper, he's also the finisher of the team.
Yes,
Besides
yes,
him,
but that's what I'm
CSK
coming to.
clearly
Now,
hasn't planned
that
or had
shows
any
that
backup finisher.
Ashish, that just shows by that IPL is just a commercial game. It has got nothing to do with actual cricket. It's about the numbers in the stadium. It's what sells. And what sells, by the way, is Dhoni. What sells is not CSK, unfortunately. He's the adopted son, like he said, because he is the one man selling the entire stadium and in yellow, 70-80% of them wearing his names. I guarantee you that this kind of popularity was only the time when we had somebody like a Sachin coming in. And with if the whole country knowing that he's going to retire, they are taking advantage of the fact that he can still fill stadiums. And why not? If you are good enough, or honestly speaking, I agree with Mr.
But
Soni. If
Ranji,
you're
the
good enough
country
to
thought
actually
he's
sit
going
in the
to
team
retire
and
in
win the match,
2022. Then the country thought
yeah.
he's going to retire in
No,
2023.
but
Then the country
commercial.
again thought
So
he's going to
commercial.
retire in
See,
2024. It's 2025 and still we don't know the answer to it.
it proves that IPL has got nothing to do with actual cricket. It's all commercial. It's got nothing to do with merit. It's all commercial. It's just about what sells, not what actually is good for the team. Otherwise, you should have an 18-year-old or 19, 20-year-old playing, or an old Dhoni with the long hair who came in and made his debut so we can prepare the next Dhoni for him. So he's actually taking the spot of someone who should have been there, but who sells more tickets. So it's all about now being Bollywood in the IPL, and it's got nothing to do with cricket. The real cricket happens in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy with his T20 when the states are playing. That is what real cricket is. What real cricket is, the World Cups, which when the countries are representing, this is not cricket, this is a tamasha. You know that.
Okay. Mr. Chandrasekhar Luthra, what's your view on it? Because when Ranjit Bajaj says it's not cricket, it's just tamasha, and then you look at the Indian team, especially the T20 side, being picked, and the white ball cricket essentially being picked mainly from the IPL teams. I mean, are we now letting tamasha enter our international cricket team? How do we justify it?
No, to me, I think this is ridiculous. To me, picking a player who is half fit, who has, completely who is not engaged in any kind of professional cricket, again is making mockery of this game. Number one. Number two is again
Correct.
Dhoni can pick his retirement. Dhoni can do anything because he's kind of owner of the team. Second, I agree with Mr. Bajaj that half of the stadium, or rather 70% of the stadium, is wearing that jersey to cheer Dhoni without realizing what were the controversies he was in, what were the repercussions after that, what all happened. Nobody knows that. This is a tamasha cricket. I completely agree. But the problem is, till the time Dhoni is there, CSK is not going to grow as a team because his prime is over. Any captain you make, he has to look at Dhoni what to do, and in obviously in current situations. And that we have been witnessing. We even saw that how Ravindra Jadeja had to
Right.
go in the mid-season, 2 seasons back, and how he was also ridiculed or he was embarrassed as a captain there. So these are all things. And yesterday again, how they were approaching, this was a game. Somewhere when we talk about spot fixing, match fixing, everything that these things have happened, these were documented. I covered my entire career on these things. I became good journalist because I was covering all this. I was cleaning all this shit in cricket. But the point is whether anybody interested in T20, not in T20, but in IPL, nobody is bothered. What happened that other day? Mumbai, they were not changing. They were doing something hanky-panky. What is happening? If you are not engaged in a great chase or a professional chase, then obviously people are going to raise fingers at you. This is exactly what happened last night also. Are you
Correct.
playing as a professional? If you are doing that, let me tell you, there was so much of suspicions there. Again, something that, cricketers should
Right.
not be involved in. There is something called anti-corruption unit. Are they looking at the scenarios
Mr. Luthra,
in
are
in
you
in in in,
indicating
uh,
that
in
what you're
English?
seeing in this IPL particularly, it just doesn't, it's hard to digest? Are you suggesting that there is some sort of a foul
Absolutely.
play?
I can tell you as many as two or three games. Two I know. Yeah, last night, that Bombay game. One more I'm not remembering immediately. What was the kind of chase they were doing? What was their approach? What were they doing despite having wickets? Were they actually chasing the way they should have? They should have got out, no? There are wickets with you. You are still losing by this run, this run. What was the approach? And this anti-corruption unit, obviously, if they are not looking at these scenarios, what are they there for? To doing the gym? I know a lot of anti-corruption bureau officers who are taking 15, 20 lakhs per month and doing nothing there. This was what was also questioned in Supreme Court. So that's a problem. There is always in English Premier League. If you go through their entire system, if there is something which is not meeting the eye or which is not actually justifying the result, there is immediate investigation. There is immediately they look into the
Well,
batting market,
Mr.
how the
Luthra, this
bets were there,
conversation has completely veered off in a different direction.
absolutely. That is
And
why I'm
Bimal
saying
Soni ji, a very serious, very serious things being said by Mr. Luthra. Mr. Bimal Soni, when you look at all the games there, everything that's been happening, do you also suspect something of that sort? Or are you now, are you of the opinion that we are reading a little too much into it?
I think we are reading a little too much into it. But at the same time, we have to keep our guard. We have to see that manipulations don't take place. Of course, people who are doing betting will definitely affect the match scenarios by mixing with the players. It is the job of the anti-corruption unit as well as the sponsors that everything goes in order. And if there is anything wrong, like Mr. Luthra feels, then we have to see and we have to adjust and also be careful that nothing goes wrong. Otherwise, the importance of IPL will go away. If these are fixed matches, nobody is going to come and look at these matches. So I am very clear. I think IPL is doing well. But if these kind of things are happening, then the anti-corruption as well as the board as well as the hosts who are playing should see that things are in order. That is my viewpoint.
Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. Ranjit, one of the things before we wrap, one of the things that you were saying is that, again, it's all for the fans. It's a showpiece that's made only for the fans. Fans fill up the stadium. They all come to watch Dhoni. But the reality, Ranjit, is that this season, if you look at the reactions that come after the game, even the fans are frustrated. The fans are now saying that, how long are we going to come out and celebrate those two sixes hit by Dhoni? When are we going to get a proper finisher to replace him if we continue to hold on to the past glory?
Yes, I totally agree with you. As you know, I am a great supporter of trusting the youth because youth is our future and they are our present. So right now in our present, if you keep on playing with the past, then we are actually trying to live in the past. So basically, Dhoni is trying to relive the glory days of Dhoni and who we all, yes, love, admire, legend who's done great things for Indian cricket. But in the same vein, would a young Dhoni captain play somebody like an old Dhoni who's going to come at 9 down and he's a wicket keeper? No, he wouldn't have. He wouldn't have even thought about it because he was a very, very strong-willed captain and he used to take control over it. In the same vein, you know when your swan song is there, you need to retire. When you're not, it's very difficult to be pushing these legends out. But as I like again, it comes back to the same thing. That's why we have cheerleaders. and we have masala cricket, and we have the DJ coming on and playing provocative songs when the guy is getting out and he's talking about dosa and idli and chutney. And when, so all those things don't happen in cricket. That's a gentleman's game. This is, like I said, tamasha. And in a tamasha, when you decide as a team owner what's good for your team's commercial interest. Why? Because like they mentioned that he does not have any other business interest. India Cements is not with him anymore, Mr. Srinivasan. The only business entity he owns is now the business entity, commercial entity he owns is CSK. So he has to be making money. And he was one of the only IPL clubs, by the way, who made a huge, big profit. Probably the highest profit last year was CSK. So you see where he's coming from. And when he's owning also 3 other franchises all over the world. And again, you can come to know if CSK is buying up franchises abroad, it's not for developing Indian cricket. So there's no good development which is ever going to take place here. Development will take place in Syed Mushtaq Ali
Ranjit,
Trophy.
how is it
T20,
then
the
a
national.
serious sport if you're basically picking a player and he has to retire only when you're sure that his commercial viability is running out?
Did you see that there's a new Indian Masters League which is happening and is filling up stadiums? So if cricket was the actual factor, there wouldn't be fans going and watching 55, 60-year-old men with bellies still coming in. The same thing happened in football as well, where you have really old men playing football and trying to sell it off. But because they're legends of the game, they sell. So see, this is where commercial interests take part. And if I was
There were
BCCI, I would make
23,000
sure
fans, from what I
all the
understand, for the
selections.
football game.
Yeah, but for every game, it's like that now. You have Masters Leagues, and they actually sell out. They sell out sometimes. I mean, they're selling out more than our Ranji Trophy matches. They're selling out more than the Syed Mushtaq Ali. They're getting more money there. So the whole cricket has turned, because of the amount of money there is turned into the tamasha, and that is where match fixing and spot fixing comes in. Because when you have such large commercial interest there, and then when it doesn't matter, for example, if you are in a Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy or even a Ranji Trophy, you actually care about the result because you're representing your state. When you know it's going to be a tamasha, I'm going at 9 down, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. Because if it mattered if you won or lost, you would not be going down at 9 down, you wouldn't be batting at all.
Absolutely. I think that's the biggest questions that the fans are asking. Is win still the priority of the Chennai Super Kings, or is it again seeing Dhoni? Because clearly the loyalty of the fans is now shifting. They are asking when is CSK going to win games, not whether the next 6 is going to come off Dhoni's bat. I think that's the shift in mentality as far as the fans are concerned. When will this translate into the team as well? Thinking that way, that's a big question. Mr. Bimal Soni, Ranjit Bajaj and Chandrasekhar Luthra, really appreciate you joining us on the broadcast here. A very interesting and an insightful discussion. And viewers, talking of cricket now, we now shift our focus to possibly the biggest controversy this IPL season. But for once, it does not involve any players or umpires or even rules. Hyderabad-based outfit Sunrisers has now accused the State Cricket Association of intimidation and blackmail, seeking additionally complimentary tickets. The 2016 IPL winners have shot a letter to the BCCI as well as the IPL governing body, informing them about the possibility of shifting their home matches out of Hyderabad if HCA's threat tactics continue. SRH, the IPL team from Hyderabad, has sought the intervention of the IPL governing body and the BCCI in their tussle with the Hyderabad Cricket Association, while also seeking directions to be given to the Chief Minister's office. And of course, taking cognizance of this matter, Telangana CM Revanth Reddy has also now ordered a probe by the Vigilance Chief on the allegations made by Sunrisers. He has also promised action against HCA members if they are found guilty. However, the HCA president has denied any rift, saying that no letter was written by SRH to the Cricket Association and that conspiracy is being hatched to tarnish ties with the IPL team. My colleague Karishma joins us on the broadcast. Karishma, a very interesting development this coming in. We haven't seen this in the past. Yes, there have been tussles when it comes to complimentary tickets and all of those other things. But the fact that you now have an IPL team writing to the BCCI complaining about a cricket association which gives them the stadium to host matches, it's bizarre, isn't it?
Well, yes, absolutely. And first things first, we have, of course, accessed the mail copy. So, for Hyderabad Cricket Association to say that there is no mail as such or it hasn't been written is completely false. The mail categorically talks about the Hyderabad Cricket Association threatening Sunrisers Hyderabad for complimentary tickets and then saying that we will not let the IPL matches be held in Hyderabad if our demands aren't met. In fact, the Sunrisers Hyderabad have gone one step further and said that these complimentary tickets are being sold in the black market by the Hyderabad Cricket Association, and they have asked for the intervention of the Telangana Chief Minister's office, and they've also asked the BCCI to intervene in this matter. They've in fact written an open letter as well, saying that the Hyderabad public should know what is happening as far as the Hyderabad Cricket Association is concerned. And now we had our colleague from Hyderabad, Somit, earlier, who was explaining that the Telangana CMO's office has ordered an inquiry into this, and whoever is going to be found guilty of the allegations that are being put by the Sunrisers Hyderabad is going to face a lot of serious consequences. BCCI, on the other hand, is going to try and solve this matter amicably. They want the SRH management and the HCA office bearers to sit together for a meeting and sort this issue out. Whether this happens or not is something that we'll have to wait and see. But yes, there have been issues between state associations and IPL franchisees earlier as well, but never to the point where an official complaint letter is written and a state association is accused of black marketing tickets.
Absolutely, Karishma. The HCA there, of course, trying to downplay the incident. But interestingly, Mohammad Azharuddin, the former Indian cricketer, is very closely associated with HCA. And recently, there was also a viral video of him saying that he doesn't watch IPL. He doesn't consider that it is cricket. So interestingly, there's a lot that's happening behind the curtains there.
Well, yes, absolutely. Hyderabad Cricket Association has always been in the news and often for more for wrong reasons than for the right reasons. And Azruddin and the current camp, obviously, there seem to be two factions as far as the Hyderabad Cricket Association is concerned. But for the moment, it is, of course, very embarrassing for the HCA because there is a proper mail that has been sent by Sunrisers. And, like it is said, there is no smoke without fire. So obviously, something would have happened for Sunrisers Hyderabad to write a 4-page mail to the BCCI, to the IPL Governing Council, even involve the Telangana CMO's office and asks for investigation into this matter, because it's not just about the emotions of the fans that this is a Hyderabad team, so it should play in Hyderabad. There are various other facets as well that are involved when we talk about these IPL franchisees playing in particular cities. There is a proper process, a protocol before a city is chosen, before a team is chosen. So obviously, we need to wait and see how this matter is resolved. But the Sunrisers Hyderabad this time around have decided that they're not going to take down, whatever it is coming from the Hyderabad Cricket Association towards them in terms of demands of complimentary tickets or the pressure, as per the Sunrisers Hyderabad management, that the HCA is trying to put on them. And in fact, HCA in its defense, Ashish, like you were saying earlier, has only been able to say that no such mail has been received, or the fact that
Right.
they deny all these allegations, but no proof, so to say, has been given by the HCA.
Absolutely. Karishma, Sunrise is, of course, doing very well in the power play on the field, seems to have had enough of the power play off the field. Really appreciate you joining us on the broadcast there, getting us details about what's really happening there. So, viewers, this clearly was my colleague explaining what really is going wrong. On one hand, the Hyderabad Cricket Association has come out and denied any such letter, but that was my colleague once again confirming that a letter of this manner has been written. In fact, this has been a power tussle that's been going on for a while, and this in fact could have ramifications across the board, because it's not just an IPL team that's involved here, it's also the BCCI and the synergy between the cricket boards and the IPL teams that also needs to be kept in check. My colleague Somit joins us on the broadcast to help us understand the Telangana government's side of it. Somit, this, of course, is a power tussle that's happening as far as cricket is concerned, but the Telangana Chief Minister also is now involved. Help us understand what's happening on that front.
Well, yes, I know it's very much clear that actually there were several allegations earlier. There were several rumors earlier that HCA has been, asking SRH for several tickets, and this time even this mail has confirmed about the allegations, and basically they are clearly saying that the HCA, Hyderabad Cricket Association, is continuously, pressurizing, blackmailing, and also even resorting to coercion, and also, putting lots of pressure for the tickets and extra tickets, complimentary tickets when it comes to the box. So basically, even that was, however, the HC has responded in this matter, and they clearly stated that. They have refuted to the allegations made, and they said that we didn't pressurize the SRH for the tickets. However, later the matter has been escalated to the government, and the chief minister himself has taken this on serious note and ordered a detailed inquiry into this matter, and ordered the senior most IPS officer, one of the senior most IPS officer, Kottakoda Srinivas Reddy, who is the vigilance chief, to conduct a detailed probe into this matter and initiate stern action if anyone found guilty. At the same time, now again, the HC has stated that we have asked for the tickets, but not resorted to the harassment, and at the same time, the tickets were asked for the members of the club, the association. So this is what HC has to say, and at the same time, the SRH, they have
Absolutely.
clearly stated that they have, the HCA has been doing harassment to the SRH.
Absolutely. Somit, like you rightly pointed out, it's embarrassing there for the Hyderabad Cricket Association, which clearly now seems to be on the back foot trying to downplay the situation, but it's already reached the Chief Minister. The government is also now involved, and viewers will, of course, see how this all plays out. But on that note, it's a wrap on this edition of the broadcast. Lots more lined up on the other side. Stay tuned.